Welcome to Wellness Rebranded.
We know there is so much conflicting health and fitness advice out there.
And you're tired of the wellness fads, endless diets, and impossible standards that make you feel like nothing you do is ever enough.
You're ready to tune into your mind and body and feel empowered around health.
We're the healing trio here to help you redesign your relationships with food, fitness, and yourself.
I'm Elizabeth, registered dietitian and certified intuitive eating counselor.
I'm Maria, licensed mental health therapist.
And I'm Tara, personal trainer.
Together, we're changing the narrative on health away from diet culture, hustle culture, and toxic positivity and towards healthful self-care.
So grab your water bottle, get ready to laugh, learn, and grow.
And let's start rebranding your wellness journey.
Hey guys, does anyone else out there struggle with what the heck to eat for dinner tonight?
Every single day.
Mm-hmm. Tell me.
That is probably one of my biggest worries and challenges is what to feed my family and myself.
Tell me why, like what's going through your head?
It's going like, okay, how can I make the best choices? Put it in front of them. And in my case, I have an 11-year-old that is, very selective about what she eats.
Well said.
So how to offer something that is nutritious, that is supporting their health without me feeling the most overwhelmed mother out there. So for me at this point, I feel like I'm so impacted by this that even going to the grocery store and thinking like, where do I even start? Imagine there's a saying in Spanish, like a cockroach in a chicken dance. It's like looking everywhere, like where, what? Dance? Probably that's how I look like at the grocery store. It's like looking everywhere, like where do I start? What's my next step? Is it even going to work? I don't know how to do it. I get so overwhelmed that it's a difficult task.
Interesting. And may I ask, how does that impact you?
Very much. It's horrible. And I'll tell you this. I didn't realize until my recent therapy session, that's one of the many ways I measure my motherhood. And when
by what you're feeding them?
Yes.
I do that too.
Yeah. So when my kids are having, 3 days in a row of Easie junk food because I don't have the mental capacity to plan for these and offers better options, I feel terrible as a mother. Terrible.
You're a great mom.
Well, not when it comes to feeding.
I think a lot of people relate to that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. I think that's so relatable. I hear it a lot.
Mm-hmm. I struggle with that, too. I'm not exactly a cockroach in a chicken dance. Because I have a good idea.
New favorite saying, by the way.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that from now on. Because I have a good idea of, quote unquote, should be feeding my family. But my family is also selective.
Mm-hmm.
And I love eating lots of fresh fruits and veggies and beans and things like that. But sometimes I made Elizabeth's recipe one time, which by the way, guys, here's a plug for Elizabeth's salmon bowl recipe.
Ooh, it is on my website.
It's on her website and I looked it up.
Crispy salmon bowls.
We talked about it one day. It's so good. And I thought this would be wildly popular with my family because it's kind of like Chinese haystacks where it's you have a base of rice and then you can add all the things, whatever you want. And so I created 15 bowls of toppings for my family.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got a little bit of rice in their bowl and then I put in some salmon and then I was oh, and here's edamame and cilantro and cucumbers and whatever. I just had tons of stuff. The boys didn't put anything but salmon and rice in their bowls. So I went through the process of julienning a bunch of carrots and shaving cucumbers and doing all this prep work for me to eat when I would have been just as happy to take a bite of a cucumber and a bite of a carrot and call it a day.
And that happens to me. It's disappointing.
It was disappointing.
And it kills my motivation to maybe the next day come up with something that is, that it could be fun.
So here's what I think when that happens, because sometimes I make dinner that, something similar could potentially happen. And I think, awesome. Now I get to eat all that for the rest of the week.
Which I totally did, but I'm also that was a lot of work to prep all that for only me to eat it.
You're worth it, girlfriend.
And here's the other thing for me. I feel that I make so many other decisions during the day for my for my business and for my family in other ways that when it comes to that, I'm why? I can't.
I love those memes that I see occasionally on social media. That's no one ever told me that being an adult means that I have to answer the question, what's for dinner every single night for the rest of my life?
Correct.
Or figure out how to feed myself 3 times a day for the rest of my life.
And it's not just dinner. Like I said at the beginning, it's what am I packing in their lunchbox? In the case of my kids, what am I eating in the middle of the day? when I'm in a rush. So the whole meal planning sounds amazing. I wish I could do it, just dedicate Sunday afternoons to cook stuff, but that in itself is extremely overwhelming for me. So if I could delegate
For me too.
and have like a personal
Chef.
a personal chef, that would be.
If I'm ever rich, I'm definitely just hiring a personal
that's the
chef.
First thing
the first
I'm
thing.
hiring.
Oh,
Yes.
that's funny. The first thing I'm hiring is somebody to blow dry my hair for me, so I never have to do it again.
Yes, that too.
Takes forever.
And also
Okay, that
laundry.
sounds how privileged your life is when it comes to food, okay? Because, like, I would rather look like the Lion King on a daily basis than, but being able to just leave that weight on my shoulders of feeding people.
Oh, but I like feeding people. That's my love language.
Let's do a trade. Meal plan for me and I'll come blow dry your freaking hair. I have the
Hey,
tools.
don't leave me out.
I might sign up for that.
More and more, I think people should have a little community where dude, I'm gonna wash, dry, and fold all the laundry. You cook all the food and you blow dry all the hair.
Yes.
And
Use your talents wisely, appropriately, and then, yes.
That would be awesome.
yeah.
It's like a little mom commune.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah. So how can we make meal times easier?
Just make them for me.
I need the decision fatigue taken out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me what to cook and I'll cook it. I like cooking. But what I don't like doing is having to decide, what am I going to cook? Let me go to the grocery store and get it all. Make sure that I got the right things and that's ripe or not ripe or whatever. And then having to come home and prep it while being interrupted 50,000 times. And then putting it on the table and having everybody go, what is that?
It's like too many steps.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have another idea.
Thinking about launching a podcast or taking yours to the next level? Juliana Barbati and her team are the experts you need. They take care of everything from episode funnel design to production and marketing, so you can focus on creating content that connects. Check out julianabarbati.com and mention that we sent you.
So for me, this is my ideal, right? Being realistic, okay? Because the ideal will be I'm a millionaire.
Someone does it for you.
And I have a personal chef. But in the real world, even sitting down, what are we having this week, and coming up with the shopping list is extremely overwhelming. So I need Monday shopping list and the super easy way that I'm putting all those ingredients together. Tuesday shopping list, and so I can go once a week to the grocery store with the shopping list that you gave me. I buy everything you told me there, and then I group them. Oh, that's what I'm doing with this. I put it to, and it has to be something super easy, like done. That would be my ideal.
Yeah. Interesting. So currently, how do you decide what's for dinner?
I don't.
Thursday at 6 p.m. and you're like, okay, what's for dinner?
Okay,
and you're
so-
deciding in that moment?
Okay, I went to the grocery store. This is my typical grocery store day, okay?
Okay.
I
Do you go
in-
every day?
No, I mean, like when I go,
Okay.
which I hate going so very infrequently. So I go,
You and
and
me
I'm
are
like,
going to go grocery shopping together.
I know. And I told you about the pantry audit. We should share that with our listeners because that's my business idea for you. So, okay, so I go to the grocery store with my,
Can I ask a different question?
okay.
It was last night. When did you decide what you're having for dinner?
Oh, like a half an hour beforehand.
And then you did what?
What did I do last night? Wait, what day was?
Last night was Thursday. We decided we were going out to dinner because friends invited us at noon yesterday.
Oh yeah, I went to DC last night to have dinner with a friend.
So you
I
didn't cook.
Yeah, so I leave those three people in
What
the
about
hands of
Wednesday
God.
night? What I'm trying to understand is are you just okay, now it's 4:30 and someone's saying what's
No,
for
I was
dinner,
gonna
and then you're
explain it
trying
to
to
you.
figure it out.
I'm going to explain
Okay.
it to you. I go to the grocery store and I'm like, in my head, it's like, okay, the protein. So here's some salmon, here's some chicken breast, and I bought some ground beef. Okay. I'm like, okay,
But
good.
you don't necessarily know what you're doing.
No,
with that. You're
I
just
saw them
buying
in
it.
my cart and
That
I'm
is
like,
exactly
okay,
what I do too.
protein, check. Okay. And I go.
I'm gonna share some tips with you.
Okay.
I might have a vague idea of ooh, I'm gonna make tacos. That sounds good.
Okay.
But it's not planned out. It's really just
Got
oh, that'll work.
Okay. Then I grab the bread that you recommended for me one
Okay.
time. with the goat cheese that you recommended to me. And I'm like, oh, that's breakfast.
It's like
toast.
I have in the grocery store.
It's like, okay, a toast. And I'm like, okay, breakfast is done. A toast with cottage cheese. Okay. And then I buy eggs. I always buy eggs because you can always boil or fry an egg. And then, okay, so once I see the protein in my cart, I'm like, okay, let me get some salad bags. Okay. So I get some salad bags. I bought some hummus and the carrot chips. Okay.
Ooh,
and then I'm like, okay, I have like a little snack that at the end nobody eats, but in my head is good to have it in the refrigerator just in
family
case.
with the salad bags.
I buy fruits. I buy my strawberries and bananas and grapes. That's what we do at home. And then, okay, so the night comes and I'm in my desk taking care of what really motivates me, which is my business. I'm taking all those decisions. And then I'm like, ooh, it's 6:30. I hear a kid saying, what's for dinner? I'm hungry. I go to the refrigerator. Oh, remember this salmon? Perfect. Let me put it in the air fryer or the oven. And here's the bag of salad. Din, dun, dam, ba-dam. Here, salmon with salad. And that saved me one night. Until the other kid says, I don't want salmon. So then I make a quick peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
Or even worse, those days that I don't like at all, both of my kids complain and then they end up having cereal for dinner and I just don't care. Or the mac and cheese,
Got it.
So mine is kind of similar, but my family will eat. Like if I make a fruit salad, if I buy a bunch of mangoes and kiwis and all this stuff. But like for me, it's the prep that gets in the way because if I have all the fruit, nobody's going to eat it. If I cut it up and make it into a salad, then everybody eats it and it's gone in one day. You know, so like if I could just commit to making the time to prep it, it'll get eaten.
I think that's like the ideal scenario, right? Is like having the time to cut up the fruit and prep it and everybody eat it. But if you know that like week after week that doesn't happen and the fruit just rots in the fridge because you had all the best intentions of cutting it up, but then real life happened, then that's not the best solution for you. So then I would start looking at, okay, well, what are the fruits that I don't have to cut up that can just be eaten? Or can I buy it pre-cut? And yeah, it is a little bit more expensive, but at least it's getting eaten and you're getting fruit.
Totally.
So, and then same with vegetables. Like I always talk to people about, like I have in my mind 3 different categories of vegetables. And the first one is I call them no-brainer vegetables. And they're the things that don't require anything for you to eat them. So for example, I always just about have a bag of shredded carrots in my refrigerator because I can pick up a handful of shredded carrots and throw them on a bag of pre-made salad and add a can of tuna and add a can of chickpeas and there's lunch and I didn't have to chop up anything and it took me 3 minutes. So same, like I can pull out snap peas and we can just eat them. I don't have to do anything to them. I can put them on the table with dinner or I can put them on my plate with lunch. I always have microgreens. If anyone out there is from Arrow Farms, please call me. I'm dying to talk to you. I love your microgreens.
Where do you buy those?
Any grocery store.
Lots of grocery store. Okay.
Farmers markets also have awesome microgreens. Now it's getting to be springtime. Then cherry tomatoes, like they're another one that you don't have to do anything to them. Baby carrots, you don't have to do anything to them. Those little tiny cucumbers. Those are all vegetables that you can literally just add to your meal and eat them, or add to your lunch and eat them, or add to the lunchbox, and they don't require any effort on your part other than buying them at the store. Then there's things that like maybe, you know, you do need to cut up the broccoli and roast it, for example, or cut up the broccoli and steam it, or whatever you're doing to the broccoli. Like it requires a little more effort. And then there's fancy, like, oh, I'm going to make stuffed artichokes tonight. And that actually requires like a recipe and a lot of time and intention. So like in my mind, there's 3 different categories of vegetables, and I think you need all 3. Same with fruit, right? If you have a watermelon that you actually have to cut and chop it up, well, maybe having some blueberries and blackberries and grapes that don't require that is a better solution for you. Or like you always want to make sure you have some of those around.
Okay, I chop the fruit. That's not my problem.
Good job.
That was my problem.
No, but I'm saying.
Oh, but nobody eats it?
But then it's in a container in the refrigerator.
Is it in a glass container?
Yeah. It's
In
just
the
that
front?
we forget. Maybe not in the front, but it's like, oh, we just go to the exact same thing, which is for my kids. It's like chips and whatever.
Well, so
and
that's where like I always say when you're putting a meal together, what do you need to have? You need to have protein. You need to have a carb. You need to mostly have a fat, and then you need fruit and a vegetable. I'm like, what do I want to eat? Then do I have a protein? Do I have a carb? Do I have a healthy fat. And then I always ask the question, can I add a fruit or a vegetable? If you get in the habit, even if there's already one there, I ask myself, can I add another one? I can throw those shredded carrots, or I can throw those microgreens or those pickled red onions or whatever. So if you get in the habit when you're making mac and cheese for your kids, now you're going to be like, how do I add a fruit or a vegetable? I'm going to grab the strawberries and bananas out of the fridge and throw them on the plate or whatever. So it is like building the habit of asking the question, that even if you're making them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, then you're also putting the fruit or the vegetable on the plate because you're in the habit of doing that. You're more likely to eat them in that scenario.
I like that. It sounds easy to do. Do you know, like, for example, this happens to me. I have my closet with clothing, okay? And maybe I have more than what I need. And it happens that I end up wearing the same thing over and over and the same combinations of clothing, right? And then you hire these people that come and do like a
Yeah.
That's what happens with me and my pantry closet. Is like I am doing the exact same things over and over and over, even if they don't work and nobody likes them, because this is what easy for my brain and what I know I can do.
We're such creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Here's what I suggest
but it doesn't work
for that.
So I need like a redesign of, hey, yeah, you never thought about, I don't know, these lentils with blah, blah, blah. And then
Retrain your brain to choose something
Okay, so I have
different.
two
a
thoughts
new
for you.
ways.
The first one, remind me to circle back to the kid thing and the selective eater thing, because I do have like a little dietitian tip of wisdom on that.
Okay.
But before we get there, what I do with my clients, like sometimes we literally do this together in session, as I will say to them, okay, tell me the meals you make on repeat over and over again that generally everybody likes. And we come up with a list of them. And I say, those are your core meals. Those are your no-brainer meals. Those are your go-to meals. You know the ingredients, probably. You can make it pretty easily, and people generally eat it, right? Now, if you can pull together a list of 10 of those, no? 8 of those?
I probably have 8 of those.
Okay, 8. If you can pull 8.
4 or 5.
I bet you have more if I really like sat down and did it with you. But even if you only have 4 or 5, let's say for now, we're going to go with, you can come up with 8. That's 2 meals a week that you could make 2 different meals. I mean, you now have 4 weeks worth of at least 2 different meals, right? Because you came up with 8 of them. There's 4 meals in
Math is hard.
There's 4 weeks in a month. Yeah.
And 2 meals a week is 8 meals.
Yes. So now you're not going to be eating the same thing, right? Because you're not having this in food service. It's called a cycle menu, which, you know, we also have to do food service as a dietitian. So then like every 4th week, you're going to have 2 of the same meals, but no one's going to mind the last time you had them was 4 weeks ago. And those are your easy meals. Then most people also need probably 2 other meals for the week, because then you figure like we're eating leftovers, we're having something super simple, or we're going out to dinner. So then maybe sometimes you're going to have to pull a filler meal, which is why if you can come up with 10 of them, that's great. But then you only need to find a couple new things to make each week. But I recommend that you go to the grocery store with like a little bit more of a plan than what you're currently doing.
What I like to do is like look at a bunch of recipes or like old recipes that I used to make. Like Marcus brings this recipe up all the time that I used to do that was like a salad with like sliced steak on top of it. And I would take Parmesan cheese and like melt it in my like saute pan and create like a little bowl out of Parmesan cheese that I would put the salad in and the meat. And it had like sliced grapes in it. Like it was nothing fancy, but
sounds interesting.
It was interesting. And he brings it up all the time.
And you don't make it anymore?
I haven't made that in like years, because the idea of like, oh, I got to heat up this pan and like make a lacy Parmesan bowl is like, oh, boy, here's some parm on your salad.
So I think the other thing that I generally teach people that people have told me is relatively life-changing for them is to get out of the mindset that you have to cook every night in order to eat well. And that you can make a dish. Like, I think that this is I suppose a particular skill of mine that I've developed over the years is like figuring out how to make one thing and then re-eat it in 3 or 4 different ways, so that it's not like exactly leftovers. You're not pulling it out, eating the exact same thing 5 times in a row, but you are incorporating that thing that you made into 3 or 4 different meals, whether it's lunch or dinner throughout the week. And if you do that, like I always tell my clients, like if you don't enjoy cooking or you struggle with this, my goal is to help you cook less and eat more.
This is probably like the most life-changing tip I've learned from you.
And that is one of the ways that I help people do it, is like teaching you how to think strategically about what you're making so that you can reuse it in different ways.
Okay.
And it helps eliminate time in the kitchen and decision fatigue around what you're going to eat.
Okay, I don't want to be the party pooper, but I don't want to think strategically. Okay,
Well,
I don't want to think.
I have a solution for you on that.
I
too.
want somebody to think for me.
Yeah.
They're great. I don't know everything else, but
Well, I have
so hire Elizabeth to think
so
strategically
many
for
people
you.
have told me that this is a struggle for them that I have actually created something really cool. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes,
Is
I
it
do.
called "I'll think strategically for you"?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that that's the actual title, but yes, basically.
It could be, Elizabeth. I'll think for you. And the people are
I'm
like,
planning
"I'm
dinner
in."
so you don't have to.
Yes.
So many women have told me that they really struggle with the pressure and the fatigue of trying to decide what's for dinner and the constant, like, here's another meal and I don't like cooking and I don't know how to do this. And even figuring out what to make and get at the grocery store is overwhelming. So for now, we're calling it a recipe club. By the time this episode comes out, you will literally be able to go and join it. And essentially, I'm going to pick 5 recipes a month to send. So now imagine if you took that strategy that I just told you, where 2 of your meals at least are already done for you because you came up with 8 that you make all the time. And then I'm sending you 5 recipes that you can try, but you don't just get the recipes, you get the done for you shopping list and my ideas for how to repurpose that into different meals.
Yes, I'm in. Take my money, sign me up. I'm in.
And
Take my brain.
yeah, it is basically, you'll know that they're all meals that I chose, so they're going to be pretty colorful and tasty and good for you and good for your family, but it's like helping relieve some of that pressure and guilt to do it perfectly, and also the emotional fatigue of having to decide on taking it off your plate.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
In those recipes, do you say when you have the ingredients, do you add which of those, like what brand and which one specifically you recommend? Because that I appreciate very much from you.
For certain things, I do.
Okay.
You know, I'm not necessarily going to tell you what brand of milk to buy, but if it's like something a little bit more that I have a particular thing, yes, I would tell you.
Okay, because that, for example, for you listeners out there, Elizabeth recommended this bread. That's what I eat now and I love it. And that cottage cheese, I don't know the name.
The cottage cheese, yeah.
The cottage cheese is like life-changing, okay? Because if you don't like cottage cheese, don't be disappointed. You might love
you
this
need
one.
this cottage
What is
cheese.
this? You need
We're
this
going to tell
cottage
you when
cheese.
they sponsor the podcast, we'll name them.
Yeah, we're
I'll
going to
tell you
contact
afterwards.
this
You guys
cottage
holding
cheese.
out on me.
We will contact this cottage, or you can message Elizabeth on our Instagram, Wellness Rebranded, and we'll let you know. I even send you a picture of the cottage cheese. But in the meantime, we're going to contact these people and find them a
But yes,
sponsor.
I will do that for you. I'm super excited about it because I know that people are so excited about it. I've talked to so many clients about it. We're all in a women's networking group. Like, people are messaging me all the time. Like, when is it? When can I sign up?
Yeah.
If you're listening to this episode, you can sign up now, and I'm super excited to
How
offer
do
it to
people
you.
sign up?
There's a link in the show notes, and it is very low cost, and it is a great way for me to like teach you some of how I do this and also just take the decisions off your hands.
Can you still come to my house and do a pantry
I can.
audit?
I
Okay,
will.
good.
I would love to.
Okay, I'll blow dry your hair.
Okay. Then I'll definitely do it.
Hell yeah.
Can you curl it? Because that'd be even like next
Girl,
level. I stink
I'll
at
do
curling it.
whatever you want. Okay, I'll become the best hairstylist ever.
But wait, can we go back to the kid thing really quickly?
Yes, I was going to ask.
So I like to think about being considerate without catering. And so what does that actually mean at meal times? Like, you don't want to turn into a short order chef, right? Short order cook who's just like, okay, this one doesn't like this, so I'm making this one peanut butter and jelly and that one grilled cheese, and this is what I'm making my husband and this is what I'm eating. Like, nobody has time for that. And it's also not that helpful for your kids, because part of how kids learn to eat a wide variety of foods is by being exposed to them and having them on their plate and having people model eating them. And kids need many, many exposures to different foods, and I'll say new foods, but it might be the same food prepared in a different way. Kids need multiple exposures to it before they might even be willing to try it. So a great tactic for parents is to be considerate without catering. And this comes from Ellen Satter and her division of feeding responsibility. But it's basically, if you're making a dinner, the goal is to have at least 2 things on the table that you know everyone likes. And that might be everybody likes rice, or I know my kids like milk, or everybody likes strawberries, right? And so you make like how I approach meal times. And obviously my kids are older at this point, but I don't worry about what people like when I'm cooking dinner. I worry about what I feel like eating, what I feel like making, what I have around, and that's what I make. But I will make sure that there's at least 2 things on the table that people generally I know they like. Now that doesn't help you if like this week your kid loved bananas and next week they hate them, which we all know kids do. That's kind of like you generally know that they like them. That's on the table. They can choose to eat it or not eat it. It's not your job as a parent to get your kids to eat. It's your job to provide them with food to eat, but you can't force them to eat it.
My son sometimes will like choose to just not eat dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, oh, I didn't want chicken. He's really anti-chicken right now, which is unfortunate because we eat a lot of it. And he'll just be like, well, I'm going to have a banana. And I'm always like, okay, fruit's always a yes food in my house.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'll have a piece of fruit and sometimes he'll just play around at the table until it's time to go to bed. And then he just goes.
And when we talk about being considerate without catering, milk and bread count.
Count for what?
As like a food. So if your kid just...
Do people not count that?
Yes. Some people would think like milk, it doesn't count as one of the 2 foods for them to like, but it does. It's protein and calcium and vitamin D and whatever. And then bread, like some people would also think like that doesn't count, but it does. So it takes pressure off of parents essentially. So hopefully you picked up some sort of meal planning tip in this episode or dinner time tip that was helpful to you.
I think I'm really going to lean into buying fruits and veggies that don't have to be prepped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my big takeaway.
Okay. Maria, what's yours?
My biggest takeaway is the core meals. I'm going to make a list, try to come up with 8. I love that idea. And then switching them, like maybe even those core meals, how can I play with it and serve them different ways?
Yes. And then I would also I have a simple meal list in my head and I would encourage you to do the same. Like, for example, again, actually, I just had it for dinner the other night. Nobody was home. I didn't know what to eat for dinner. I didn't have anything around. I have really hearty, dense English muffins. They actually have 10. In fact, I'm going to be posting a reel about it, so you can go check my Instagram page. But there's 10 grams of protein in these English muffins and 4 or 5 or 6 grams of fiber. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I take those and I make a pizza bagel and then I serve it with edamame, which is protein, and I serve it with fruit. And for years, I've given that to my kids when we just needed something fast that checked all the boxes that I knew everybody would eat. That's what they got. And it is a balanced, nutritious, nutrient-dense meal that takes 5 minutes. I always have those English muffins in my freezer. And so maybe also have 1 or 2 meals like that are not even really cooking. That's just you
assembling.
Are those specific English muffins?
Yes, I'll tell you about those too.
You see, that's my point. You see my point with Elizabeth?
Yeah,
that's
she
what
knows
I want.
all the good stuff.
But if you have a couple of those, then you got some pinch hitters in the mix as well. So anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you came up with something that will help you make mealtime just a little bit easier or something to try. If you want personalized guidance, reach out to me. I do a lot of this kind of stuff in one-to-one sessions and I do take insurance. And if you want to join the recipe club and get me to pick out 5 recipes for you and tell you how to repurpose them and give you suggestions for my favorite products, be sure to click the link in the show notes. Love, love, love to have you in that membership.
Thank you for listening. If you want to connect with me outside of this podcast, you can find me on Instagram at coaching_therapist.
I'm Elizabeth. You can find me at Elizabeth Harris Nutrition or in my Facebook group, Health and Healing with Intuitive Eating.
And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Tara DeLeon Fitness. Guys, if you loved this episode or any of our other episodes, we would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast. It really, really helps us get the non-diet word out to the rest of the world. So please leave us a review.
Yes, thank you.